we've got loads of things we're going to talk about today as well too. We've got the FA Cup semi-finals this weekend as well. We're going to talk about Arsenal's 3-3 draw. Is that now bringing Man City back? Is now Man City now champions now after are now going to be really finishing them, go top of the table, and we'll talk about the rest of all the other games as well and the European competitions as well too. No Douglas today. Actually, he was away last night to Ollie Murs concert in Glasgow, so he deserves a good break away with himself and with his wife, beautiful wife Rebecca, who this is the last concert before he becomes a father in September. But join us with Gat from Anfield Road TV is Mr. Jack Mack. Is that Jack? How you doing this morning?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Massive thank you for having me on. And yeah, Doug, it's nice. It's nice for some, innit, Carl? Like he's got a nice concert. My mum's obsessed with Ollie Murs as well. So, but yeah, hope Doug, if you're watching, hope you had a good time, mate. But you got someone better, Carl. It's all good.
Hey,
yeah, we'll have fun anyway today. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll have fun indeed. If anyone wants to join us live and have a contact with us, please, I have put the link up on the comment as well. If you want to join us, if you want to have a chat, have a few say as well, please do as well. Yeah, so we got today's fixtures, Jack, as well. It's a bit busy today. We got the early lunchtime kickoff between Fulham and Leeds United today. I know it's a big game for me. I know, so it's not. I'm a bit kind of trying to keep positive hopes up completely. Really am. Yeah, along with that as well, we'll see with the other fixtures we have today as well. We've got Brentford at home to Aston Villa, another 6 points for the European places for both teams.
Everton that'll be a big one, that nice.
Everton try to keep their hopes up away at Crystal Palace. Leicester City at home to Wolves, another relegation battle. Nottingham Forest, can they do the double against Liverpool this season? Time will tell. As well, it'll be interesting, Jack. Hopefully not. That's not going to happen with you boys today.
Won't put it past us, mate. But they beat us already, mate, as you know. And but we need to win. We'll get to that game anyway, mate. But
absolutely. Good morning, Andrew. Hope you're well. Yes, but we're back on today, indeed, mate. It really is. Yeah, and also the rest of the championship, Blackpool are going away to Birmingham City. Bristol City at home to Rotherham United. But QPR trying to keep their relegation battle survival against promotion chases Burnley. Only promote Burnley. Sorry, Stoke City away to Cardiff, who are back for relegation as well too. Reading also trying to stay up as well. They're home to playoff chases. Coventry City, Hull City at home to Watford. Norwich City away at home to Swansea City, Wigan at home to Millwall, and Preston North End at home to Blackburn. What a big derby, another derby today as well. Big one today into League One. So we will go to League One shortly. And good morning to you, Chris. Yes, I hope you have a good on the way to the Cumbria Derby. I know that's a big derby for you guys and for your promotion. Hopes as well to try to get all the promotion. Hope you have a good day, mate. So Barnsley at home in League One, at home to Oxford United. Shrewsbury Town away at Bolton Wanderers. We've got Morecambe away at Charlton Athletic. Charlton Town at home to already relegated Forest Green Rovers. Derby County at home to Burton Albion, another local derby as well too. MK Dons away at Fleetwood Town. Peterborough United at home to Ipswich, who are chasing promotion as well. We've got Plymouth Argyle at home to Cambridge United. Bristol Rose away at Port Vale. Ports at home to Accrington Stanley. Sheffield United versus Exeter City, and Wycombe Wanderers versus Lincoln City. Going to League Two. AFC Wimbledon home to Swindon Town. Big derby, like Chris said. Barrow at home to Carolina. I hope that's going to be a really, really good game, and get some good fish and chips, mate, as well too. Brazilian away to Bradford City. We've got Colchester United versus Sutton United. We've got Doncaster Rovers against Newport County. Also, we've got Quality Town away at Hartlepool United. Leyton versus Crewe Alexandra. Mansfield Town against Stevenage. Northampton Town at home to Harrogate. Rochdale away at Stockport County, who are chasing promotion as well. Grimsby Town away at Tranmere Rovers, and Walsall versus Salford City. An interest in the National League that we saw last night with Wrexham winning 3-0 last night against Yeovil Town. Can they clinch promotion this weekend? This weekend really does as well. Wrexham at home to Boreham Wood today. We know that the other team's not counted away at Maidstone. That could be interesting tonight. Jack, who will get if Wrexham get promoted later before they kick off tonight. It's really tight, isn't it?
Yeah, I managed to watch obviously the big game at the top of the table. I think it was a good advertisement for the National League. Anyway, it basically is Hollywood down there with Wrexham. I was having a little look at how much their season ticket was. I think it was like 300, 400 quid, which is quite steep considering the division they're in, mate. But yeah, that'll be an excellent. Both teams the two top teams getting 100 points in that league. It hasn't been seen in English football at all at any level.
No, it hasn't.
But yeah, it'd be a big win for Wrexham, but they have bottled it in the past. And obviously that draw that they had a couple of days ago anyway. Obviously the win last night, this week, but it was a fixture before. I forgot who they played anyway. But yeah, they should get promoted. Big up there, Phil.
Absolutely. Morning to you, Philip. Hope you're well this morning. Andrew, you can jump on if you want at some point. Yeah, we'll be happy to do that. We'll invite you on. We'll be perfect with that as well. Thank you for joining us this morning as well. In the Scottish Premiership, a big game for Hearts in the early lunchtime kick-off for my team. They're home to Ross County. Celtic, who are nearly close to winning the league, also home to Motherwell. Livingston away to Dundee United. Livingston need to get to the top six into sort of top six after the post-split season. Habershaw's also trying to continue their hopes in the top six there with St Johnstone and St Mirren at home to Kilmarnock, another relegation battle at the bottom of the Scottish Premiership. Mate, Jack, where can we start? Let's start with last night's game, actually. Southampton taking that shock lead last night. It really was surprising last night at all. Did you expect this, from the Arsenal just collapsing so much?
Yes and no, mate. Obviously, I think we all watched that game against Liverpool. The second half wasn't good enough, but it looks like the everyone goes on about Liverpool bottling leagues, but I don't know how you felt, Carl, but the last game against Liverpool and the game before as well, there was something wrong. Like, it was unlike Arsenal that we've seen this season. It was mad. Theo Walcott. Alcaraz as well. I don't get why he brought Alcaraz off. It must have been a tactical switch, but by the looks of it didn't really quite work out anyway, mate. But it's poor by Arsenal. What's that now? They've bottled two goal leads, and then obviously last night they went 2-0 down anyway. They did it, but yeah, disappointing. And it summed it up, that last opportunity in the game where you've got Thomas Partey absolutely ballooning it. Very reminiscent of a certain Naby Keita. I was sat in my garden with Doug and the lads, and you're like, Naby, just lay it off to the right-hand side and potentially get a cross in. What does Naby do? What does Partey do last night? Last kick of the game, absolutely bangs it over the crossbar. But for me, if I was in that dressing room, I'd be saying, yes, there's a lot of games to go, but the form City are in, the form Erling Haaland's in, they're an absolute bloody steam train. It's not going to stop. And for me, I think they've bottled it, Arsenal.
Absolutely. Is that a huge point for Southampton to keep them hopes to try to stay up as well? Because I was contemplating last night thinking a lot of the other teams were including myself thinking, oh, thanks a lot, Arsenal. You really not helped us, haven't you? So far.
Yeah. Our mate Tom, we are at Everton mate Tom. We all know Tom anyway. And I was in the group chat with him, and he was like, "Oh my god, thank God!" I'll tell you what, mate. How difficult would that have been if Southampton got those extra 2 points for you down there, mate? Because it would have opened the bloody gates. In all honesty, it would have been mad. It would have been 3 points that no one would have anticipated them getting. In all honesty, but if you're an Everton fan, Forest, Leicester, even West Ham, Bournemouth, you're looking at each other going, thank God it was only a point, in all honesty.
I know. Listen, I was very shit myself, actually, when I saw it. Like, no, please don't tell me this is going to happen today. It cannot happen today. I just did not want it to happen. I'm like, God, no. I was fearing, mate. I really was. But I still get the point, but it's still not good enough. I have to admit as well. So, yeah, Jack,
big up there, Russ. Yeah, he's a massive Arsenal fan. Russ, I was celebrating, you know me, Russ, this season, been celebrating Arsenal goals like it's bloody Liverpool because desperately. Well, not that anyone cares if City win the league title, but give it another 10 years, if they win like the next 10 leagues, then Manchester United and Liverpool fans might have something to say anyway.
Yeah. Phil does say, in his own opinion, Arsenal charge is done after 3 draws and 3 games. It is done. I think that game against Man City this coming week, this midweek, I think it's going to change. It's going to flip now completely now.
Yeah, massively. Like, was it when Liverpool, obviously, when we played Istanbul, all the neutrals, I know that back in the day, but it's the end of the day, like, especially the form. City do it so well, Carl and chat, don't they? The back end of the season, Kevin De Bruyne, he's had a decent-ish season for the standards in which he has set over the last couple of years. He's come into his own. He always comes into his own at the back end of the season, and that's what world-class players do. You step up when they're needed. And there was people waxing lyrical about Martinelli's performance, Carl. I wasn't that impressed with him last night.
No.
People were saying Saka and Martinelli ran the show, but Martinelli was... It showed. As soon as he took him off, he got a goal and all that. But Trossard, for me, needs to be starting against Manchester City. And for as good a season Martinelli has had, last night he was completely off it for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Henry's saying good morning to you, Jack. Good morning, Henry. Hope you're well too. Big up to us as well. Appreciate that. Andrew Quinn also said he's seen a very interesting stat yesterday. Apparently, Arsenal have dropped more points than Liverpool did in the 18-19 this season. And he's got a good point, actually. That is really surprising how Arsenal have really dropped more points than Liverpool did when they would fight for the Premier League and they finished by just a point difference.
It's the draws, Carl and chat, innit? Draws kill you. Like in terms of when you're going for league titles. Yes, we were talking about obviously Arsenal with their gold-plated trophy of the unbeatables, but it's not like when it was in like the 80s and like the 90s where you'd be winning league titles on 77, 80 odd points, like the Fergie years. But now, like the expectation levels of obviously City, Liverpool, obviously even Leicester done well as well. But when you're chasing down City, I've been speaking to obviously all my Gunner mates, obviously Russ and that this season. They're like, what does it need to take to beat Manchester City? And you more or less need to be perfect. Like Liverpool season, I think the Laporte, the year that Manchester City lost the league title, I think they've learned a lesson now in terms of bringing players in. But obviously the injury to Laporte that season, obviously I think they got Ruben Diaz the year after and really got the stuff sorted at the back. But yeah, you need to be perfect. I'm just looking at their draws now, 6 draws, 3 losses. All the Gunners, I think Liverpool lost the league title when we'd only like was it lost 2 games or something stupid?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. But if Arsenal can go to the Etihad and do the business, for me, if they win that, they win the league. But it wouldn't write City off still anyway. But yeah, last night, was it the final nail in the coffin? Potentially, but we'll find out.
Yeah, well, Ross is not looking forward to it. Saying we won't beat City where Arsenal aren't mentally strong enough to. It's especially with Arsenal with a young team. Was it just a season or two early for them, the way they came in to try to challenge the title for Man City?
Yeah, it's a young team, innit, mate? I think the experience of Granit Xhaka didn't help him. Obviously, he got suspended. I don't think he was suspended or injured or whatever, wherever he was last night. Yeah, the selection of Vieira for me as a neutral, I don't understand why Jorginho didn't play. He's got that experience in big games, big pressure environments, Champions League finals as well, and obviously for Italy in the final of the Euros. But it's very strange decision by Arteta. The substitutions last night were far too slow for me. Were they for you?
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. I thought he would have at least reacted a bit more quicker, but he's young, he's inexperienced, he's learning along the way. But sadly for Arsenal, it is looking like if City are to win it, it is a massive learning curve. But I think it doesn't really matter anyway at the end of the season, but it will be a learning curve, and it'll just be more experience for these players for, say, if they go again next season, they can go back. And that's very much what Liverpool done when we eventually won that league title. It angered us the year prior that we'd missed the league title, and it just drove that team on even for Liverpool's team, and it could have that potential impact for Arsenal next year. That wound up about what they done last year in terms of being in such a good assailing lead that they go for it.
Absolutely. Like Philip said, it takes somewhere near 100 points to win in the league nowadays. Henry does agree. All the City and Liverpool can do that in the Premier League. No other team can. And Andrew makes a good point, what he's just said here. He thinks that Arsenal has been focusing so much on City results. I think that's why they focus on getting results collapse yesterday. He does, but don't get him wrong. As a Liverpool fan, Arsenal remind me of what you lot went through as well too.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Andrew. But hopefully we get our house in order next year. But as we'll speak about a couple of the teams this weekend, mate, it's everyone, even at the bottom, at the top as well. It's the crunch moments. And I think we'll speak about, was it League One in terms of their table later? Sheffield Wednesday were absolutely flying at the top of the league, weren't they?
They were.
And now the third, and it's obviously being overtaken by Plymouth and Ipswich. So, and Ipswich have went on a mad run as well. But yeah, it's now the crunch time in terms of football and terms. But
it is.
Make or break.
It is. It really is. It is, and I was surprised as well too. Yeah. Good morning, Russell. Hope you're well too. I know he's a big Chelsea fan as well. I know you're happy that you Chelsea want Poch, and we'll get to Chelsea's story shortly. But like I said, after this week, Man City will just clinch the title after next week. We just could see it steamrolling now completely as well. So, yeah, but we will go into Chelsea. And actually, you know what, Chelsea, I was going to ask you this. They've linked with managers with Vincent Kompany. Julian Nagelsmann is out of the running. And also, we have Mauricio Pochettino and an unnamed candidate. Are you surprised with the Vincent Kompany's being linked with the Chelsea job? Can you really see him leaving what he's done at Burnley to go to Stamford Bridge? And I think he's a bit young and experienced at the wrong time.
Yeah, I can't really fathom it, mate. In terms of, it's going to be mad. Obviously, once Guardiola does leave City, it's going to be a shootout between Arteta and Kompany. And
it is.
Who do you reckon City will get? I know it's a sidetrack, really, Chas. Who do you anticipate to get that job? For me, I reckon it'll be Kompany. I don't know, because it being captain.
I think it might be Kompany. I think Kompany will get it just ahead of Arteta. I think Arteta wants to build something at Arsenal and continue being there as a challenger. I can't see Arteta going to a rival. I can't think Arsenal will not let that happen. I really don't think that they will let that happen. I think he will stay. I think he'll probably be more Vincent Kompany's more the better. We all thought a couple of years ago Patrick Vieira was going to be that for years ago when he was at New York, but that's what happened with him is it's undramatic what he's where his managerial career is. But I think Kompany's more the better fit. What the style of play that City will like to play. So I think Kompany will be more the better fit than Arteta, just about. But they're very close.
Yeah, keep it. Let us know, chat in the comments. Who do you anticipate to get that City job? But even still, mate, as you said there, Arteta was Pep's right hand man. You never know, but it will be interesting, especially Liverpool. It depends who Liverpool do get in terms of post Klopp anyway. All Liverpool fans, I don't know if Doug mentioned, we've all got a cheeky eye on a certain Leverkusen manager, Xabi Alonso. If he wins the European trophy,
that could be the perfect fit. And I was going to ask you about that at some point. Yeah. Who was the best replacement for Klopp? Because no one didn't know, because everyone thought it was going to be Gerrard, and that years ago.
He's miles away.
Yeah. But I think Xabi Alonso makes a perfect fit. Yeah. I think that could work. I think for you guys to go forward, I think Xabi Alonso is a perfect replacement for Klopp when he does go.
Yeah, hopefully, if he comes out with the back of that with a Bundesliga title in a couple of years and a potential European trophy this year, mate. Yeah, he's been taught by all the legendary managers, Ancelotti, Mourinho, Rafa as well, Pep Guardiola is also. So he's literally been coached, and his dad was a manager as well, a very experienced manager. So he's come from that background really, but time will tell. I think with Xabi. But in terms of back to the Chelsea, mate, I'm very surprised. I do rate Pochettino. I just don't quite understand what happened at Paris Saint-Germain. It doesn't quite deal with egos, but even still at Tottenham, if they played Lucas Moura against Liverpool in the final, would they have won? They would have had a better opportunity to win against Liverpool, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's mad that some of the names that are getting linked. But if I'm an experienced world-class manager, first and foremost, I'm not going anywhere near that Chelsea job. It's a poison chalice.
Thank you.
Look, was it the Nagelsmann basically come out yesterday and said there was infrastructural issues in terms of when he was analysing the job. But for me, Carl, that's probably a big talking point, really, in terms of if me, you, or any of us were managing at Chelsea, you literally got the owner coming in after every bad result. That, like, the infrastructural problems, it's mad. You've got the owner coming in the dressing room, which I've listened to some Chelsea players this week. It was almost like any football club. It's like a safe haven for the players. I get people go, oh, he owns the club. But at the end of the day, owners should be writing the checks, doing the stuff at board level, not anywhere near the pitch side.
I know. No, I agree with the, Chelsea Joe's pause. I was thinking about that. I think where Todd Bowley has, you spent so much more, over $500 million on mostly wingers, and you don't get a number 9 striker. That's really what's killing this team so much. If you're not going to be in Europe now, you're going to have to do so much cutback of getting rid of the players that you didn't want. So like Hakim Ziyech, who did get the move to PSG in the end, how that failed. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on at Chelsea. It's huge. And I think that when the next manager comes in, it's going to be so much pressure from the board, from Todd Bowley. That's the issue. And I think that's going to be the issue going forward for Chelsea fans, because there's no identity at the moment. They wanted long-term, these new owners, but you're still doing short-term like what you did with Roman Abramovich. So it is very, very, very not surprising they're not changed. And you can see why they've tried Sterling, Havertz, Pulisic up front, and it's not worked completely.
There's so many, similar with obviously what's happening with views at Leeds, mate. Like obviously prior to obviously the certain managers that you've had in the past, like any club, when you have a manager and he has an opportunity in a transfer window, as you alluded to there, mate, you're spot on with the Chelsea players. There's about 5 different sets, or like 4 different sets of managers, players. Like Sterling, I know a lot of people will give him criticism saying that he's not had the best season. But in all honesty, I still rate him. He's a decent enough player. Of course, it's a lot more easier for any player when they go in at City. Because I tell you what, Erling Haaland, he's a very good player, but if he was playing for someone like Leeds United, he'd probably not have a lot more goals. Yes, he's a very good player.
I know. Do you know what? And we had a chance to get him a few seasons ago. I think they were offering us like £5 million, £6 million to buy him at one point, and we did it because we didn't have the money at the time. So there was a bit of like,
If we could have got European footy, mate, you never know. Another parallel universe.
I know.
But technically he's a Leeds-born lad, isn't he?
He's a Leeds-born lad and a Leeds fan,
yeah. So there we go. Potentially when he's about 35, you never know.
I know.
Unless Leeds get a lot of investment. But it's a bit of a mad one, mate. Time will tell with Chelsea. But in terms of obviously their postponed game, it would have been Manchester United versus Chelsea this weekend. We'll speak about the FA Cup games, but even still, it's a massive game for United. But Chelsea, they're languishing really in terms of down. Even next year, Carl, where do you envision them?
I still think they will miss out on European spots. I really do. I just don't know how this team's going to gel. When you bring Lukaku back, how that's going to gel, I do not know. And I think that's going to be another issue. I think I cannot see. I think the way Newcastle will be very much strengthened so much. Brighton will be as well too. I think Brighton are going to be the challenger for Champions League spot next season. I feel that is going to happen next season. I would not be surprised. I think Brighton's got a very good chance now that we expect it to be. I think Brent, I think Fulham will come again. Aston Villa under Emery, they'll be challenging. It's tough now for Chelsea. I think it really is where they're going from next season. It's going to be really tough.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, we'll speak about obviously the fixtures this week as well. Like, it's going to get so much harder, even like so more competitive, so much money coming into the Prem. But like the expectations of some of these league owners, I don't think, speaking about obviously Todd Bowley, I don't think he actually understands how competitive it even is. Yes, he's like, oh, typical Americanism in terms of, oh, we'll throw money at the problem, like it's in baseball and basketball, and we hope that the team starts winning. But it's not so easy because you look at Graham Potter, where's he going to go in the next couple of months? Will he be taking a sabbatical? I think he will take a year out.
Yeah, I think he will. He's got the money now. I think he can take the year out, go away, go on holiday, go do some more coaching, learning stuff, and probably, and come back more fresh. I think that might be the only best case scenario. I can't see him getting a job this summer. I really don't. I never thought of that. And does he get a job abroad when he comes up for sabbatical? That's going to be the interesting part. I don't know if he will go back abroad again or come back into the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely, mate. But if I'm like a team down there at the bottom, mate, even if Leeds can stay in the Premier League, you'll be rubbing your hands together, especially if you could get a manager like Potter. But time will tell, mate. In terms of the Fulham Leeds game, mate, that's the early kickoff today. I don't review it. It's going to be an interesting one. What are your thoughts going into that game?
There needs to be better leadership. That's how we've really been crap the last two games. We've not had no leadership. Not having Werber, Cooper, or even Tyler Adams, it's been a killing point. I think we were just too good for you guys. We made you guys look good, and we were so shit. I think the way we played, we just lost it. We just lost the edge, and those two home games will just kill it. And I think Harry Gracia realizes it now. I think there's going to be some changes today. I think there will be some changes, and it needs to be as well, because I have been questioning so much the way we collapsed against Palace. That should not happen. That was a winning game for us. It's just, I think that equalizer goal that they scored, I think that really changed. That just turned everything upside down completely. And, it's a huge game because we thought, like some people mixing and saying we might be relegated. Some people saying no. I don't know what to say. And I said to my dad about this one, I said to him, it's Groundhog Day again. I said that to him this past Monday. I'm like, yeah, I know we were not going to win that game. So I know, but it's the way we collapsed. And it was very disappointed. And it's a must-win game. We've got two big games coming up. Today's game, home to Leicester, and then get the way to Bournemouth. That is the most two crucial games we got now to try and get points to stay clear. Stay clear really is actually. I just want to see what the team's going to be in the next 20 minutes or so, what the team lineup's going to be. So time will tell. Let's just get back onto the chats to catch up here. So, yeah, Henry has said it could be fine. Could be fine. I think Jack depends on what players could come in. LL. Rose saying Mount's leaving. Where will Mount go?
Oh, you've started something now, Carl, haven't you? I've been having this raging debate with me chat all season. I know we mate Russell in the comments there. He's not at all a massive fan. And it's quite a Liverpool's fan base, or just football fans in general, I think they're very split down the middle. I'm a fan of Mount. Are you, Carl? Are you a fan of Mount? Or...
It's a tough one for me, as I say that. I think when he's England, because he does get a lot of chances for England as much, at Chelsea. I think when he first came on, when he was at Derby, I thought, whoa, what a player he was when he was on loan, when he was from Derby, when he was playing against us in the playoffs. He was like, what a good player. I think he's lost his way a little bit. I think he's lost his way a little bit with Chelsea the last season and a half. I think since he was better on the Tuchel, he was really good. He was probably their key player. But I think since Tuchel's left, he's really struggled. He's really has struggled completely. I think there's a lot of questions about will he extend his contract that at Stamford Bridge. I think what the situation at the moment, time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah, big wages. I think he's looking at potentially getting, if he is to stay at Chelsea, if his mate Frankie Lampard does the business and gets him to sign a new deal. I still think he's got pictures on Gareth Southgate, mate. He definitely has. I've got some pictures.
Yeah.
Mason Mount. The death taxes of Mason Mount starting for England. He's undroppable for that fella. But yeah, I rate his ability, as you said there, mate. I think that breakthrough, well, I wouldn't say breakthrough season, but the season before this year, I think he got 13, 14 goals and then 16 assists in the Premier League. So his quality is there. So I think he just needs a manager that can get the best out of him. But in terms of Liverpool, I think if he's over 50 odd mil or 60 mil, I think that's just a bit too much for a player with not a long time on his deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew said this season's been a mad, but I remember Liverpool was in the title with Chelsea United in 08-09, then us as City in 13-14, and over 3 seasons. Also, Russell thoughts on the man that needs to actually come out. I think Liverpool should look at Casado, then Corner and Thuram. People forget we wouldn't feel our first 11 consistently till now, which is a good point. Yeah, that's a good point you made, Russell, with that one. He's also he said, I love Alonso when he played for us at Bayer, 18-6. He's got the passion and desire to get the best out of his players. I think he's going to have a really good strong going next season. I think he will do to challenge for that Bundesliga title, because that league's been a joke this season of the teams that have really not performed well. So
yeah, you do wonder if Xabi Alonso was actually installed a bit more earlier.
We all did. Yeah, we all thought we did. Yeah,
I reckon that would be not. Even if you are betting men, like just have a little look at the odds for next season for Bayer Leverkusen to win the league, because I tell you they might be an outside shot there.
Yeah, absolutely. Rosa said also needs to win the Europa League, but you can see him going to Bayern Munich. Can that really happen, especially on the Tuchel if he does, you know?
They're just. If I was a Bundesliga fan of any, even like Mainz or like one of the clubs or Leverkusen, I'm pretty sure Bayern, they are the Manchester United of the Bundesliga. I think a lot of clubs hate them, like fans, because if you are a team and like you have a promising youngster, you just go, right, we'll have him and we'll have your manager as well if he's half decent. But it'd be nice to see someone win the league other than Bayern. But this year, Dortmund bottled it last week. They were winning 3-2 up until the 97th minute. They've done it so many times, but Bayern have probably squeaked past with the Bundesliga title, sadly.
Absolutely. Russell probably should have taken that Chelsea job with the current basket clubs. Big up, Jordan. How you doing this morning? Hope you're well as well, too. Russell said the only manager that can sort Chelsea for me is Ancelotti. Could you see Carlo Ancelotti going back to Chelsea? I know he's been linked with the Brazilian national team job, which has been on that most of the lot. If he wins the Champions League, do you see him staying at Real Madrid for another season?
No. I think they're waiting to see if he wins the Champions League this year. If they get knocked out by City in the semi-final, we know how harsh Perez is. And in terms of, look at what they've done with Zinedine Zidane. Zidane won what? 3, ran out of how many bloody Champions Leagues he won as a manager over the last 5-6 years at Madrid. But yeah, he's a very talented manager. He's probably in my top 3. I'd say Fergie, Ancelotti, especially in my time, 27 years of sport and football. But Ancelotti, he just raises an eyebrow. But I think he's such a good manager. He just keeps it simple, Carl. He's such a not underrated tactical manager, but I think a lot of people don't actually understand how good his tactics are. The way in which 7 months ago, Champions League final, he's like, yeah, we knew how Liverpool were going to play. Liverpool dominated that game, but typical Ancelotti counter-attack, score, they win 1-0. He's the master, in all honesty, mate. But I could see him eventually going to Brazil, but if Chelsea throw enough money at Ancelotti, I'm pretty sure they'll come to Chelsea if he was available on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. Russell, he don't think he will have Arsenal through, and Russell said he wants to think Matt will stay at Chelsea, but he can feel like he can go to Newcastle or Arsenal, and he does prefer either Thuram or Gravenberch. We need physical. Yeah, we don't need more players who are, if we need players, can hit the ground running. Yeah, that's a fair point. Russell Casado is his number 1 pick to go to Liverpool as well. And yeah, absolutely. And Andrew said he still thinks Dortmund will win. I think Bayern will still put I also take Grabbers from Bayern for 25 minutes. There's also a few stages I might go to. The visit the first will be the Young Cruyff stage, and that's one of the stages I would like to go to as well. Actually, it's one of my top 5 stages I need to go in my lifetime. So yeah, you're on mute, mate.
There we go. It wouldn't be a show without me muting myself, Carl. I bet you Doug sat there waiting. He's like, you said it before. But the San Siro, I think it's getting knocked down this year. That's one stadium I wish I'd gone to. I'll tell you what, if people that have got a ticket to go and see that semi-final in the Champions League over the 2 legs, that will be a historic night in Milan, for sure.
Yeah. Chris also he wants Gonzalez absolute, but he has been Gonzalez has been an absolute baller this season. I like what he's been doing in European this season as well. I think he could be another one that could go to Liverpool really well, actually.
Yeah, he's at halfway line goal a couple of weeks ago against the Gunners. Sorry, Dust, if he's still in the comments. I was watching that game, and yeah, he's a talented player. Another Portuguese starlet to come out of the Liga NOS. It's mad, the depth of talent. You only have to look at the amount of City players, Ruben Diaz, Otamendi at the time. List goes on. Edison as well.
Yeah.
There's so many great talented players. Darwin Núñez.
Absolutely.
He's not a flop. All those rival fans, he's had a very good season. And once he learns Scouse, it'll be much better. So,
absolutely, indeed. Let's go on to the FA Cup semi-finals today, Jack. First game today, Man City at Sheffield against Sheffield at Wembley. This is so much to play now for Man City to win the treble this season. And did you expect them they were going to really do what Pep was thinking about winning the treble this season? Because that's still on his agenda, even though he's not admitting it publicly.
It's going to be very disappointing. I'll probably hide behind the couch for a good 6 months if City do the treble. Because it's the proper treble. Even though Liverpool done the treble in 1980 something. Obviously we won a league title. We done the League Cup and obviously the Champions League as well. They deserve it, mate, if they are to do it. But nah, Sheffield aren't going to there. Sheffield aren't going to win. It's going to be a cricket score to Manchester City.
Yeah, and I just said Chris said next 5. Yeah, Chris, I would agree. I think it might be. I think it will be Chris. I think it will be 5-0. So I would agree as well too. Andrew Chris goes out. It was actually in the Wolves Academy before moving to Sporting Lisbon. That is a good point. He was in the Wolves Academy, and I think, and it was interesting. Wolves it keep him eventually because he could have been an absolute baller for them, So
it's Wolves and Portuguese players. It's absolutely mental. Like, wouldn't surprise me. Well, we've seen at the Euros, there's so many Wolves players. It wouldn't surprise me in the next 5 years. The Portuguese academy just evolves from a national stage. It's just basically Wolves players, but it will be interesting.
Absolutely. Andrew, Russell, thank you for giving me a question. Why did Leeds not use Cody Dammers? That has been a good question, and I'll be bluntly honest with you. I think there was 1 or 2 questions about his development from Jesse March, from the previous management. Jesse March, didn't think he was that perfect, rotation along with Junior Firpo or Pascal Struijk at the time, which I thought he would have been a better cover because we needed someone after Junior Firpo's first season in the Premier League was a bit of a disaster. He's been okay this season. It's not been too bad. But which we did use Cody down because I think he would have been given another dimension, which we needed. And I think he's done well on his loan spell at the moment, which we're really, really glad. And I think hopefully Harry Gracia, if he does stay as Leeds manager and we stay up, I think we need to use him more coming next season. I think that, and also Charlie Cresswell, who's had a good season at Millwall as well too. I think we need to use those both players because at the moment that's what the lead. We've got some young hungry players, and I think Joe Gerhardt had a good start at Sunderland as well, a decent start at Sunderland as well. We want him to come back as well. The team needs to be better structured, but I will agree as well. And Chris also says a nice trip to Wembley for Sheffield United. Yeah, one day, and you come back defeated. So
even better if you win. All of us will be celebrating.
I know.
And then we woke up, chat.
Aye. Yeah, Andrew, I 100% agree. I think I would agree 100%. And Ngonto has been the most impressive player I've seen for Leeds this season, out of everyone this season. I think for £5 million, and we could have got Cody Gakpo, Charles Deketa, who's at AC Milan, who's had a flop. We had so much price. We'll get it for £5 million, which is a huge steal. That, don't get me wrong, it's a huge steal, and he's been terrific. And that's what we've missed the last 2 games because of his injury when he got in the international duty. So hopefully we'll have him back in the team later on today. Really hugely important with that one. Yeah, and then I can't see Man City. I could not see Man City not lose this game badly. I really can't, actually. So you're right.
It should be okay. Carl, chat. How many goals do you reckon Haaland's getting? Oh dear, he gets hat-tricks against Premier League teams.
Probably 3. 3 to 4
goals today.
Yeah.
Mad.
Absolutely.
But, I'm going with a City win for that one. It's all right, man. All good. City win.
Yeah, no. Listen, City just, like I said, they will just wipe the floor, and I think Haaland will just get more goals. He's gonna beat Dixie Dean's record. I think we all know that.
What is Dixie Dean's record? Is it like something?
I think it's 60
in a calendar season. Is it? Yeah, I've got Google up here. I'll have a quick.
Yeah. Dixie Dean's. Yeah, I think it was goal scoring record 60. Yeah, 60 goals. Yeah.
Oh, this won't surprise me. He's a freak of nature in a good way, because whatever they've been feeding him in Norway, I could do with some of that. I think we all could. He's an absolute machine.
Yeah, I know he got his being classic. Yeah, I agree as well. Good question for both of us, actually. Which Leicester player do you think will crack at a top 4 club? Do you think? I would say more James Maddison.
Madison,
Barnes,
Ashley Barnes, not Ash Barnes, was Harvey Barnes. Oh, equaliser. Yeah. I bet you there's one player I'm completely missing.
I was gonna say Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, I've said this a couple of mates, and they've went, I'd say Dewsbury Hall, but I think surrounded by better players, I think he could elevate his game a bit more. But I think you're spot on there, mate. I think it would be just those 3 potentially.
I think it will be those 3. I can't see any other players. John Sutter's, he's come from Stoke, so
James Justin.
Yeah,
potentially. He's quite youngish, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I couldn't see him at a top 4 club as in, I think he's still maybe like to Brighton and to Brighton, that team and Aston Villa, yes. But I don't think a top 4 club at this stage at the moment, no. So, who else?
It's Tielemans, but you've probably seen one of my shows where I've ranted about. I think Minan's.
Chris, I would have said Tielemans as well. We all would have said that to completely, but the way he's fallen off after this past season is it's really surprising,
I think at the top teams, Carl and Chad, don't you? You need, first and foremost, obviously quality, but attitude's a big thing as well. The mentality of certain players, you can't just throw your toys out of the pram if you're at a top club. If you're not playing, you've got to work your backside off. I think there's a lot of talk with Carvalho, what he's currently doing at Liverpool. Klopp was speaking about him yesterday, and there was a lot of rumours that he potentially be going out on loan next year. A player of that quality, but similar with Origi at his time at Liverpool, you've got to work hard to get into the starting 11, but be respectful to the coach as well. Not a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players out there, and I think Tielemans goes into that bracket in terms of if he wasn't playing at a top team, I think he'd probably speak to bloody Todd Bowley or something.
Absolutely. Yeah, Chris, I agree. I know Alfred Mark's doing fantastic for you guys from when we loaned you, to. I think you could sign him permanently. I don't think he's got no future at Ellen. I really don't. And that's one of the things. I think he'd be good quality for your team to sign him permanently. I think there'll be a lot of clubs in the low leagues will be looking at him, how he's done well at Carlisle. So I think he's a bit of a League One, probably lower championship player that could be good. I wouldn't be surprised if you sign him and hopefully get a good deal for us as well. And you agree, you wouldn't shot if Haaland gets 6 goals today as well. Jack Russell said that Sol Connie Lama is going to buy him back. So we all know Liverpool are short of money. Why don't they just agree to loan grabbing it? Literally win-win for both teams. Again, the blooper of the year, Jack. You're muted again.
Sorry, that was because we might come in then. Yes, Russell, if Liverpool, as we know, if we were actually ran properly in certain areas of the club, it would make sense, Russell. And I think you're spot on. Ideally, and we're seeing a lot of clubs do that now, mate, and Carl, aren't we? Where clubs are doing pre-agreements, but they're doing loan contracts to see how they impact into the Premier League as well. It would be a win-win, Russell, but Liverpool haven't signed a midfielder apart from Thiago in like the last 3-4 seasons, which is mad. But I'd like to see him come, Russell. Me and you have spoke, mate, over the last couple of weeks. He's a player with immense ability, come through at Ajax anyway. But time will tell. Carl, from an outside point of view, just a quick one there. How many midfield players do you reckon Liverpool need to sign? Like top quality midfielders?
Top quality. I think 4 to 6. At least 4. Probably 4. Because I think the way it is at the moment, it's a huge drop-off. And you always, the midfielders always need the things you need to improve every 2 to 3 seasons. And I think that's what you need. I think 4 is going to be the maximum number. I think you need to get quality players. I really do.
Yeah, definitely, mate. But we'll find out, Russell. Lima, that should be the final nail in the coffin for Gravenberch, really, Russell, in terms of Lima coming in. Well, he knows it, but if you're Gravenberch, 20-odd years old, experienced, just move.
Absolutely. Chris says that Liverpool sign list players, come on, we're not the bottom league to play for say dear me. He thinks it's 4 midfielders as well. And the midfielders he likes, he just said, he thinks it says Fabio, Thiago, Bajinet are the only ones he will keep. And he probably would say like Curtis Jones to go, especially how Curtis Jones had a good game in the last game against us. I don't know how he's really been poor this season. That has been a huge surprise for me, but
yeah, no, it's and even Chris has watched Fabinho and probably you as a neutral, mate. The drop off from Fabinho's for me. I still think Liverpool need to buy a proper 6. Russell mentioned Caicedo.
Yeah.
He would be more or less a much improved version of Fabinho. It was what Fabinho used to be in terms of so much around the pitch. He was nicknamed the Hoover, and that's what he done. He hoovered up opportunities. But yeah, Caicedo. I think with Caicedo, yes, he'll be a big outlay, but as we said, we're not getting Jude Bellingham by the looks of it because we're skint. I'd be very surprised if Liverpool went for Caicedo, but if we did, that boxes off one of those midfield positions, as you alluded to there, Carl, for the next 10 years, if you can keep him.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Good morning to Doug. Hope you're well, mate. Thank you. I know you've been having a good time in Glasgow. I know you'll hopefully be on your way back as well. How was Ollie Murs' concert? You look like you had a good time from the picture I saw on Facebook last night, mate. So
yeah, I hope you were dancing your socks off, really, Doug. Can I say? There we go.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Chris says here, Fabinho has been the worst player to see, but he will keep it for one more season. Same with Van Dijk as well. Would you agree with that? Fabinho, Van Dijk will keep it for one more season.
I said a couple of months ago, I wouldn't be. It's very controversial, but I am under the influence of Virgil van Dijk. He's not going to get back up to the levels in which we've seen. We've seen similar players in European football where, look at Michael Owen, when he had those early injuries, didn't quite really become the player he was. Fernando Torres absolutely fell off when he had his injuries. I think even though Van Dijk, a 50% Van Dijk is probably better than majority of centre-halves in the holy order, but the levels in which we've seen the second place in the Ballon d'Or for Van Dijk, I don't think we'll ever see those levels again. But Fabinho, disappointing, really.
Absolutely. Just got the team news for the game at Craven's Cottage. We see here that he's been at least one, probably 2-3 changes. We've seen Leeds are going with Mezzi still in goal. Liam Cooper, Max Weber have come back in. That's a huge boost for Leeds as well. Rami Christian keeps his place in. McKinney and Rocker still in. Somerville is the only change as well. So Harrison and Rodrigo go up front. So no Patrick Bamford again. As for Fulham, they are at least have made 1 or 2 changes. Leno's in goal with Tete, Abiyo, Tim Ream, and Robertson. Harrison and João Paulinho in the midfield. Wilson, Pereira, and Willian up front, along with Bobby Reed. And Bristol's had to change so that these needed Jack, didn't they? Bringing Werber and Cooper back has been what's been missing the leadership in the back four.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've just shared the screen there, mate. We'll just show everyone, obviously, the team. Yes, Somerville, obviously the goal scorer at Anfield a couple of months ago. Has he been injured, mate, or has it just been a case of in and out in terms of bad
in
form?
And out. It's been more case of in and out, I would say. It's been a case of in and out, so yeah.
Yeah, Liam Cooper must. I know I spoke to you this week in terms of potentially him leaving the football club, but obviously captain for Leeds, the experience in which he offers, and you need that down there, mate, as we know, Carl. Every point's going to be vital, but I think if Leeds are to come away with a result today, I think Liam Cooper will play a massive role. Addison, obviously at the bar against Liverpool, what could have been, really? You've got quality there, mates. Hence, with a couple of other teams down there in the bottom, but you just need to start picking up points, even if it is a point.
We do.
But it's just so difficult when you're down there. Jack Addison, I do rate him. Obviously signed a new deal. Is it this year or last year? At Leeds.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think he's a player that can very much. For me, I look at that attacking for Addison, Somerville, Haddison, Rodrigo. That's good enough to win a game in the Premier League.
I hope so.
But yeah, it's Paulinho.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely love him as a player. Wish Liverpool signed him, but I'm not on the bandwagon really of, Liverpool need to sign Paulinho. I think he's just a bit too old now. He's a very good player and he's exactly what Liverpool need.
Yeah.
But I think he's just a bit too old. And I think Fulham will be charging teams 50, 60 million, which is worth that. But yeah, disappointing.
Absolutely. So Leeds make 3 changes after the fashion. Fulham make only 1 change because Dan James is ineligible to play against us. So Bobby Reed, Dakota Reed is in the starting lineup. Leeds make 3 changes. So Junior Firpo, Pascal Strike, and Sincero drop to the bench. So not to use surprise as well. So and then on the substitutions as well, they are on the bench. Bamford's on the bench as well with Rutter, and then Gonto, Forshaw, Alien Firpo. So Leeds have got some options to get on the bench. I think so does Fulham a bit as well, a little bit, but it's a tough game today. It's gonna be a tough game, and it really is. I don't know where it's going to slip out. Doug's asked us a question. Actually, do you think we think Liverpool are changed today? Jack, your question?
Yeah, I'd say unchanged, Doug. I think the classic mantra of a football fan, or never change a win side anyway, unless there's obviously injuries. But full steam ahead, Doug. Hopefully, for our lads, need to just take our opportunities. We need a big win. Inspire confidence, potentially see a lot more minutes for Luis Diaz, potentially. But yeah, we just need to win, Doug. Even if it's 1-0, 3 points at all that matter, really, for any team down there. Bottom, the top of the league, doesn't matter how you get those points, as long as you get them on the boards. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Russell said early on, he said, we all had Thiago Jones, Elliot Batchin, and Martin coming back. Miller could be extended Henderson. So we have depth. We just need 2 starters. Injuries have been bad this season.
Yeah. We've had debates, Russell, haven't we? All of us. It's even you as a neutral, Carl, looking at Liverpool midfield. You look at City. Of course, for any club around Europe, it's impossible to get the depth in quality when you look at City. Their 2 teams could basically win the league. It's crazy, but what you want is, as Russell said, 1 or 2 world-class players, and if they're young, you can integrate them into the team. And as Russell's alluded to, Elliott, Bajcetic, they should be coming in and out. Similar with Jones, they're not expected, but as we look at these statistics, Elliott played the vast majority of Liverpool's games this season. He's played the most minutes, and for a young lad, obviously off the back of the Leeds injury that he suffered last year as well, it's you don't want to be running him into a brick wall, and that's probably what they've, and hence why Liverpool haven't played him. It's good management by Jurgen, because a player that young, Carl, you don't really, not just any Liverpool player, but players in general, really, especially with Bamford coming back from injury this season. You just don't want to see them have a reoccurred injury at all.
No, you don't. Absolutely don't, mate. You really don't. And Russ said, I don't think Bellingham leaves Dortmund this summer. Do you see him leaving this summer?
No. It's going to be mad. Our mate Connor from the Cop Council, everyone knows him. My biggest midfielder that I want is Barella. Carl, pretty sure you've seen my videos or Doug's mentioned to you. I think he's been amazing for Inter. And every single goal he scores for Inter, it's an extra 10 million in the Champions League. Even more if he actually helps Inter Milan win the Champions League this year. But Bellingham, it's going to be mad. You look at Toni Kroos signing a new deal, Modric signing a new deal at Real, and it would make sense. But wouldn't surprise me. I'm fully expecting City to come in with a £150 million bid for Jude, whether this be this season or next season, and him to go to City. Because if they get all the Bellingham, it's just game over for the Premier League and Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris also said that by that, and he said that was the defending style for him. For me, I think you would agree with that as well too. You know, especially now he's not going to be the same player, but could he did that what the other defenders of the past, legends of the past, have done?
Yeah, you look at Terry, you look at Ferdinand when they got to the back end of their career, especially John Terry wasn't a centre-half that massively relied on his pace. It's similar with, obviously, you look at Carlos Puyol, not the quickest, but he's spot on there, Chris. You need to. This order of Van Dijk it's gone. Like the last 2 years have very much indicated and highlighted that. There was that statistic that was going around for a very long time, hence just mad that he hasn't been dribbled past, but it was literally, you'd be seeing Champions League games. I was there against Inter Milan a couple of years ago. All the Inter players were absolutely petrified to go near him, and hence why Lautaro Martinez banged it from 30 yards and scored. That Van Dijk is a million miles away from what he used to be. But if he adapts it, Chris, as you said, he's still got a long career ahead of him, but he needs to put a shift in. Because a lot of us, me and Doug, done videos all this season and last season going, something's off with Van Dijk. Is he waiting for the World Cup? He's come back from the World Cup, and it's still the same Virgil van Dijk that we've been seeing over the last 12 months.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, he would with regard to Gonzalez, O'Connor to forget Bellingham. We need freedom of it. Bellingham will not sort anything. And everyone's been saying Bellingham will make the difference, but it's more than just Jude Bellingham. It needs to be sorted out.
It's crazy money, Carl. Like when you think of it, as every football fan, like I think no player is ever worth 150 million. You look at the wages Haaland's getting. Yes, he's a very good footballer, but looks like he's getting about 600k a week. That's ridiculous. It's absurd when you look at like clubs like Betty and teams. Like, but for me, I probably will do a show in a couple of weeks. There need to be price caps in football. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, the sheer amount of money. And for me, to safeguard the game, not just in the Premier League, but to safeguard it, we'll speak about the Championship as well a bit later. You need to protect the leagues down there in the bottom. It's all well and good spending 50 or £100 million on players, but it's it's the year on year. It might be good as fans, especially if you're a team like in the Premier League, like, oh yeah, it's good. But the next 20, 30 years, you will see a lot more clubs financially stricken, in all honesty.
Aye, absolutely as well. Chris, you said 2-2 for the draw for both of them leagues. I have to say, I'm gonna have to go for 2-1 for us. We need something. I don't know what you're gonna go, but please just
Yeah. You know what, Carl? As I was mentioned when your lads up for us, I'm gonna go with a Leeds win. I'm gonna go because Leeds. I'm gonna go. Yeah, sorry. I go 3-1 Leeds. This is a game that is very much got goals in it.
Yeah.
Mitrovic not playing for Fulham again. They don't play They miss him massively, in all honesty.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I'm for you, Cal, and hopefully make it interesting at the bottom. As long as you send the Ev down, Cal.
That's all we want.
Good.
Is that on the points deduction? Is that on the points deduction with the financial, issues?
Yeah.
So that's all we care about, man. We really do.
So.
Yeah, Russell said, you know what? Philip Billy for me is class. Big, strong, scored 7 goals once. He said, could be a good ball with midfield, underrated.
He's like one. He's a massive fridge, isn't he? Not quite a Harry Maguire fridge, where he just scores on goals. But he's a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a big lad. I watched him at Huddersfield. He was a really big lad, and a lot of people at Huddersfield really rated him very well when he came through the academy. So yeah,
he probably would do a job for anyone outside, probably the top 6, especially anyone breaking. Like definitely if you're coming to a lead, you can definitely do a job. But if Bournemouth are to stay in the league, he's a main threat for them really to stay in the league.
He is. Chris, if we smash Leeds, we should be smashing Forest. Yeah, that's all I agree with that one.
Yes, we've been here this season. Yeah. As Medino says, if we speak, we'll be unvictorable. So,
Christian folks said the Bundesliga journalist said, "What happened with Grabat? He asked about local leagues. He did comment, but he did have a smile on his face. He's also very keen to join. Yeah, if that's a smile on their face, that sounds like he's gonna come. So he's gonna go to Liverpool.
His mates, his Dutch mates are there. You've got obviously Cody Gakpo, Virgil van Dijk, Gini Wijnaldum. I'm pretty sure would have given him a little bit of good information about Liverpool. The opportunities are there, especially he probably looks at Liverpool team and goes, "Yeah, I'm better than Naby Keita." I think all of us probably would be better than Naby Keita.
Absolutely,
we're good.
Yeah, I agree with that. Chris, yeah, you think, in your opinion, he needs to transfer like him, did a great job, but Watford did what to do. The sack managers for writing on the whiteboard. Yeah, I know, Chris. I know. Look at what happened with Chris Wilder. Chris Wilder is losing his mind completely. Good morning, Niall. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us as well, too. Chris also said that John McGinn will be well beaten Klopp's system. Too many people look at that name and say he's not good enough. People said that about Robertson, Wijnaldum, list goes on. Number 3.
But there we go. Sorry, mate. I was just getting that stream up. But for John McGinn, mate, I was looking at him this season. If John McGinn was, say, 24, 25, definitely Chris. But I think he looked at his age last week when I was watching the Aston Villa game. I think he's like 28, 29. Obviously winning was it the Scottish League Cup or the Scottish?
Yeah, the Scottish Cup, with him, yeah.
So he's a good player, mate. He ticks all the boxes. But if there was one Aston Villa midfielder that I'd potentially like Liverpool to sign, would be Ramsey. In all honesty, he's fits the age profile. He's English. He's a very talented player. But I'm hoping he stays at Villa because we'll get on to Aston Villa this in terms of the game this weekend, mate. But absolutely. I think if Villa keep on winning, they're getting European football. Maybe not this year, but definitely next season.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. Name aside, if it started with ridiculous money, well, Jack said it probably needs a price cap, and you're right. I think if this Neymar deal never happened, it would have been that ridiculous. It would not be that ridiculous way it is.
Like, what was it? 20 years ago, you'd be getting what? It was like 20 million, 30 or 40 million would get you Zidane. Now it wouldn't even get you the bloody bog standard English midfielder. In all honesty, it's madness.
Absolutely. Good morning. Yes, thank you, Nigel. Hope you're well.
Nigel,
yes, thank you very much. Hope you're well this morning. Everton's got the flip flops, so still managed to smash everything. Yeah, that's a good point, Chris. Hopefully, Wrexham could get promoted today. Nigel, we hope so. And what a fantastic story it's been at Wrexham. Hopefully, they do get promoted as well, too. And good morning, Kev. How you doing? What's the crack, lads? Everton to go down, Leeds step. Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather have that. I can't do that. I can't have Everton to stay up. I don't like Everton the way they just think they're arrogant. They think they can try to do everything that they did last season to disrupt opposition by setting off fireworks. That ain't happening now. So
that is beautiful, Carl. Like everyone's asked me, like even when they come down and play Everton, they're like, Jack, did you do this? The majority of teams, and I'm like, they do it to like large majority, and half the time they don't even get the right hotel. It's,
I know
other opposition teams like Leeds and Palace, they all stay at other hotels, but And what is it? 24 hours later, they end up getting beat at Goodison. So,
yep, absolutely. Jacob Ramsey, would that be a good fit for Liverpool?
Yeah, that's who was indicating Russell, but I think he's probably got a very good manager. There's one manager in terms of developing young players, Unai Emery. But yeah, Russell's mentioned Brandon Johnson as well. What's how old or chat? How old said Brendan Johnson?
Brendan Johnson's about 21, 22.
Oh, so he fits the age profile, and he's a very talented player, Brendan Johnson.
Yeah, he's 21. So yeah, I think it's a good talent. I think it's good talent to get. For that price. Yeah, I would actually.
He suits that ethos, though, Carl, doesn't he? In terms of if he was to come into Liverpool, he looks like you. He puts a shift on in terms of when you look at what you need, what's needed at Leeds this season in the last 8 games. You need players that are willing to work the backside off, because there's nothing more frustrating than seeing for all of our teams when you look at it and you just look at players going in front, not putting the work rate in.
Oh. Absolutely. When I see Leeds, who are the ones that I just got like was a little for Casemiro. But yeah, I know. Agree with that one. Big up, Jerry. Hope you're well yourself. Big up to him, Jack as well. Chris, you'd be happy for X to go. Don't like the ownership, but deserve it. Have his shit on like Salford. Yeah, it's good. Chris, you made a very good point now. That is actually a good point. Did Salford have any history? No. Wrexham has. They've not been in the Football League for nearly 17 years. So,
It's mad, though. Haven't Wrexham, I was looking at their team. I think they pay. It's mad that obviously with the wage cap, you probably all know everyone, but when you go in, is it national into like League 2 or whatever, Carl? Obviously the price caps.
100% turnover, yeah.
So if they come into the division, I don't think they can play. Is it the Scouse lad that they've got up front? Completely forgot his name anyway. But they basically got a League 1 striker in the conference. And everyone's like, oh, he's got about 40 goals. No wonder. So putting Haaland in the Conference League for Wrexham. He's bound to then if you get him. You do wonder how many goals Haaland will get. He'd probably get about something stupid like 200 goals. But yeah he's mad.
Absolutely indeed as well. Absolutely indeed. I was going to do the Champions League, but I don't think there's no point to do the Champions League in the Europa League Conference, only except for West Ham. What a game they had against Genk on Thursday night. Winning, they can rise with that solo goal. That what a mate,
Yeah, I've got a lot of Hammer mates, and they are ecstatic. I think I've done quite a couple of West Ham watch-alongs last year as well. I was gutted that they didn't go all the way, in all honesty. But if they can win a European trophy, it's massive. Regardless if it's the Europa League Conference, it's still a trophy at the end of the day. All of us football fans, that's what we dream of. Obviously, we don't dream of winning the Europa League Conference, but it's a trophy. I'm not on this mantra of football snobbery, of picking and choosing what league title or what FA Cup or League Cup or whatever, what trophies good or what trophies bad. Because there's another 120 odd teams in the footballing pyramid in English football or more that would dream of their team winning, going to a final and winning a trophy. It's going to be massive for West Ham. Bit of a mad season. Similar to Liverpool, you look at the teams down there. The expectations off the back of last season was West Ham. Carl, for me, like that, I anticipated them to at least be up there, not expecting them to be 15th. But a lot of my Hammer mates, if they can they're staying in the league, but they can certainly get dragged in there.
Yep.
Like Paqueta, 50, 60 mil, hasn't really worked out.
No.
I know a lot. Souček, he's not got the biggest fans.
Not only that he was in the first few seats when he first came in. He has dropped a bit, yeah.
It's mad. Like I've been watching all their live streams and they don't really like him. It's similar with Fabinho. The drop off in terms of performance by Souček this year is ridiculous. Paqueta not quite implemented, and even Jared Bowen as well. Obviously getting the goals in the last couple of weeks, but look at a player like Jared Bowen, the breakthrough season which he did have last year. I know he's not a young player anyway, but he's not really kicked on as you would have expected this season.
Absolutely. And do you think West Ham are favourites now, or do you think Fiorentina, after they nearly went out to let Poznan to get those that second goal in the last minute of the game. Is it between West Ham and Fiorentina now for that Conference League, the Euro Conference League title?
Yeah, you'd anticipate West Ham winning that competition. I think, was it Nice got knocked out as well in terms of Europa League? Yeah. I wanted to mention
Rome also going now to AZ Alkmaar as well on penalties as well. So
yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on Mourinho, mate, as well, chat. Jose Mourinho. We've mentioned obviously Bayer Leverkusen, potentially Xabi Alonso doing the business in that competition, but
yeah,
it's mad. I think Tammy Abraham, if he can go all the way and win it, I think he'll be the only player ever to win, obviously, the Champions League, Europa League, and obviously the new tournament that is the Europa League Conference as well. So, one for your quizzes the next couple of years if they do the business. But Jose Mourinho, mate, I've questioned him in recent seasons, but he's an experienced manager. He knows what it is to win cup competitions. And would you agree with this statement, Carl and chat? Mourinho can do what he does at the likes of Roma. He can win if he went to Manchester City. But if you put Pep Guardiola in the shoes of Jose Mourinho at Roma, does Pep win all the trophies in terms of the lower teams?
No, I don't think so. I really don't. I think Pep's, the way Pep is, I can't see Jose Mourinho winning titles at Man City in the way he likes to do it his way. That's the questionable part, you know. Yeah. I really do question it. I can't see Pep doing it at, I don't know, with Roma. I think the Serie A titles is one of the difficult titles to win. The Serie A title is one of the difficult titles to win in much of Europe because, you know, the other teams around and getting into the top 4 spot is complicated than it is in England.
It's probably a massive debate to be had anyway. You could probably do a whole show on it, but like, and Pep is on record. Sorry if there's any City fans watching, probably triggered at that statement I've just said. But it does make you wonder, as you said there, Carl. He's got a way of managing Mourinho, a very specific way. It works at certain clubs, but it just goes to show. We've mentioned Chelsea this morning, mate, haven't we? We mentioned Tottenham. Both of those clubs, they've had Jose Mourinho, his experienced Premier League winner. But Tottenham, they've sacked managers that have been title-winning managers. Conte, Jose. But they'll probably get another manager and sack him in about 2 years' time. But yeah, it's an interesting one, that chat. Let us know. Could Jose do the job at City?
I'm just looking at Leicester Tiller from Chris. Good morning, Chris. Hope you're well. I know you're shitting yourself today as well, as you said. Pep and he's like only winning things with top clubs. Could not do it at Stoke, Rochdale, etc. That is a fair point. Yeah, I couldn't see him doing something like that in those clubs, in those leagues. You know. And I know, Chris, some of these elite managers will need to have a checkbook to help them. Let's be real. That is really a good point. You know, they will need a blank checkbook to buy the players that they need to win the league titles. You know, don't like Chelsea. So Rodgers to Chelsea. He thinks better Rodgers to Chelsea.
Hopefully, Chris. Oh, bloody hell. Chelsea wouldn't even know what's bloody hit him if you went there, mate.
I know.
So, a manager I rate, Carl, as well, and chat. I absolutely love him. The job he's doing is obviously Thomas Frank. I think he's one of the most underrated managers in the Premier League or in Europe, in all honesty. You look at Brentford's budget, but I suppose whatever happens with Ivan Toney, probably put on another racket today anyway. Ivan, probably better than himself getting an hat-trick. That's a weird one, but we'll probably speak about that at the end of the season, mate. But Thomas Frank, I love him as a manager. I love the way he speaks, and I love first and foremost the way in which his team's managed as well.
Absolutely. Can I ask you a point? Who's going to win the Champions League then? Is it going to be City or Real Madrid?
City. I was doing a watch along this week, and I think it's City's year. Sadly, you've spent $1 billion, but we've mentioned Carlo today, mate, haven't we? We spoke about how experienced he is, but the rest of Europe is preying on Real Madrid doing the business. But City, Haaland. We watched that Champions League game last year when he played Real Madrid. City, in all honesty, should have won 10-2 on aggregate or whatever it was, because the amount of chances they had, they dominated Real Madrid over the 2 legs. But Pep being Pep, bottling it on the 90th minute, taking Kevin De Bruyne off, lost full control in that game. And then Rodrigo goes up the other end and scores 2 goals in extra time. So yeah, it pains me, but City were eventually going to win the Champions League anyway.
Absolutely. Chris, I am going to be free for that for a preview. I'm going to have to, because I got you to do. I also got to speak to Craig from at Bournemouth, also from Bournemouth as well. He's fan to each other as well. So I got to do both of your previews next week coming up, which
they're all coming thick and fast, aren't they, Carl?
I know it is, man. It really is. Yeah, he thinks City will win the Premier League and Champions League double. The other game we need to talk about the FA Cup semi-final is Brighton against Man United. Who's going to come out that one? I think it's going to be Brighton. I feel like Brighton could,
Brighton all day, mate. And I know I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm not just saying that. Brighton have absolutely slapped the backside of Liverpool the last couple of seasons. And obviously De Zerbi, we've mentioned Potter, the great job in which he done. But he's took over and he's made them better even, which is mad. Yeah. Well, that just goes to the infrastructural good promotions. We've mentioned how much of a mess Chelsea are as well. But when you analyse Brighton, every element of their football club, we look at the board level, look at the recruitments, you look at the dugout as well. Every element, and even the playing facilities. Cal, Brighton, I think all of our clubs would be rubbing our hands together. They're getting Gary Macton, McAllister for 7 mil. They're getting the other lads as well. Completely bloody forgot. Saicedo for 5 million. That's excellent recruitment at the highest level. And they're going to be probably selling them on for 60, 80 odd million in a couple of years. And they'll probably spend all that money on the next 10, 20 gems, to say the least. But yeah, I'm hoping for a Brighton win, and I think it might be quite comfortable. The bottling of I'm disappointed we didn't mention the Sevilla game, Carl. That was an absolute car crash. It's gone from them winning a potential league title, the FA Cup, the League Cup, as well, into getting the League Cup.
Europa League, yeah,
and Europa League as well. But we'll find out anyway. But I'm hoping Brighton do win. But if they don't win Manchester United, they should do with all the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, I'm going to go with it. I think it'll be 3-1. I think Brighton have beat Man United like that as well. 3 was the magic number. Used to talk about Leicester in the way Jack about Brighton. Those were the days. Yeah.
You won't be that far off it, Chris. As I said, we spoke about Chelsea and other clubs as well, Chris. I think once you'd get I've been speaking to our mate, Leicester fan, Ant, as well, and Chris, spoke to you this season. Potter, obviously everyone tuning in. Chris, if you can get Potter in, I think that'll be a correct appointment. Carl, do you reckon Potter would do good at Leicester? For me, he would, in all honesty.
He would, actually. The only managers I could think of, I would have rated a season ago before he went to PSG. I would have said Christophe Galtier at what he did at Nice, but I think that's now out of the question. What's going on with these allegations or racial allegations? So I really would Leicester step away. I think Greg Potter could do a better job at Leicester, to quite honestly. Yeah, I think it's the right club.
Yeah, definitely, miss. Oh, yeah. What's Kev said here about me?
Kev said he couldn't win back like this, and that'd be the strongest team in it. Yeah, I know. Brighton's a super team. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, you're right, Kev. It's not surprised at all, actually, with that one. Do you know what? Before we finish off, let's go through our predictions. So we both said Lee's going to win. You said 3-1. Right. I said 2-1. Brentford against Aston Villa.
2 of the probably most informed sides. Every time I put Brentford on Miyaka, they always lose. so I'm putting them on Miyaka. That's the game that I'm leaving this week. I'm going to go inform Ollie Watkins. I'm going to go... It's got goals in this. I'm going to go 3-2.
I put him as my team, as my fantasy team, so as a captain, so it is vital for me, yeah.
I'm going to go 3-2 Aston Villa. It's going to be goals galore, that one.
Yeah, I'll go 3-2 Aston Villa as well, too. I would agree as well. Chris said, if we go down Keats, but if he keeps it up, he doesn't deserve that, but agree, Potter, if we stay up. Chris said, we will end up with the same outcome as Liverpool. Yeah. Chris is going for 3-2 for Brentford. Brian's going for 3-1 for Fulham as well. I'm gonna go 3-1 to Villa. I can see Villa again just with that win as well. I think Brentford are a bit on a holiday at the moment, so that'd be an interesting one. Crystal Palace against Everton. I know where I'm going. I know which way I'm going. Yeah, I'm going 3-0 to Palace. So,
what are we saying? Man of the match display from Elise, boys and girls. Palace. Roy, just sidetrack there, Carl, chat. I've been surprised by the impact Roy's had.
I know.
Like, I get he's a dinosaur and he's a very good manager. Shame it didn't work out for Liverpool. Probably the worst managerial appointment anyone's had at Liverpool. But he's a good manager. He's probably, I was saying to the lads as well on my channel and chat, Roy Hodgson's probably died and gone to heaven by the attacking talent he's got at Crystal Palace. It's madness. But yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 Crystal Palace. I think they'll absolutely run Everton ragged.
Jack, this is for you, actually.
What is that? I have to clear my bowels for the watch along. Good luck to everyone playing this weekend. You better do us a favour, Jack. You owe us on one of the early in the season. Chris, I swear, Forest. Yeah. Chris, I'm pretty sure we'll have it. I'll be getting a phone call off Chris if we don't do the business. Chris,
I know. I know.
I wouldn't put any mortgage or house or anything on Liverpool. When our back's been against the wall, Chris, you as a neutrals watch this Liverpool team, and you as well, Card, was shaking your head going, what are Liverpool doing? But, we need to do it. Chris, we'll spank them 6-0 today. Today, hopefully, boys.
Oh, piss off, Chris. Don't you start with that one. Oh, God. You better think of choosing your words carefully next now, mate.
But everyone down there, though, everyone is forgetting. Surely Everton got to get a points deduction with the FFP. Like, that could be massive. Like,
but I spoke to Andrew Rogers yesterday about this. He said, "Oh no, sweat, it will happen next season." No, it won't happen because if it does happen next season, there's a lot of questions. So
it's got to be mad, that mate, and especially everyone down there. Like, they've broke FFP regulation. Like, it's mad. I was looking at the numbers. It was like they spent over like 100 million over the budget.
Yeah.
And that goes to what we were saying before in terms of the running of certain clubs, not just in the Premier League, but in the pyramids of England.
Yeah.
There's no way they can keep on continuing to make losses. They need to be impacted.
I know.
But it's madness. But Premier League, just let clubs do whatever. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's a good point. It might be if they do go down, it's if it's not in the Premier League. It's a fair point with that one. Jack, Leicester City against Wolves. I know where I'm going with this one. Chris, I'm sorry, mate, but I
really? Are you going to go Wolves, Carl?
Yeah, I probably am. Yeah.
I'm not saying this just because Chris is in comments now, mate. Leicester, mate. Leicester, it's at home. They have to win. We've mentioned the quality that they've got on the side. It's still good enough. Vardy, I know he's went off the boil this year. His legs have gone, but Iheanacho, they've still got talented players. And this is a must-win for Leicester. I'm going to go 2-0 Leicester, Carl and chat. They
Chris,
need to win.
Every Liverpool go for goal. Sorry, Carl. And he's mad at me because he's not saying. Chris, listen. I really don't care about the goal. Listen, I just care about my team. I'm not supporting your team. I did say good luck to you. So, Chris wants to go for 1-0 for Wolves. I'm going for 42-0 to Wolves. Okay, so
Wolves can't hardly score. Watch me jinx this now. And
you don't. Yeah. Be careful with your words.
No way. But I'm going to go Leicester. Yeah, I'm going to go Leicester 2-0. I'm going to back Leicester. I'm going to back the boys in blue. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Leicester.
Well, Brian's going for 0-0. Like he like that Jack always have. And he says he's not feeling sorry for himself. I'm not sorry. I pissed myself. And Chris Wilson, Leicester's done and gone for it. So
I'm relying, Chris and the Leicester fans. I'm relying on you. Similar with Leeds as well. But But yeah, we do the business, boys.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, Brian Morrison, good by 6 points deduction would be more for Everton. I might be thinking a bit more for Everton with these points deduction.
More than that, mate, isn't it? When you take into the but it's mad. Like the Premier League is so quick to ban Mitrovic. Yes, Mitrovic was in the wrong. He shouldn't really be pushing the ref, but it was because it was against their darlings, Manchester United, that they whacked him with a nine. Was it 9? Whatever game it was, deduction.
Yeah.
But it's mad that they don't have this same like bottle to go at teams in terms of like they're breaking the rules. Everton. It's sad, and we've mentioned this with the financials and majority of clubs. You look at teams like Bournemouth as well, Brentford as well. They've not got a big budget, but when you compare it to what Everton have done, they've just whacked like 100 million up the wall on that. It's not good, and for the long term, speaking to my Everton mates, and they're an absolute bloody mess. I think was it Bill Kenwright released a statement yesterday.
I know. So I saw a bit of that, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, it basically triggered the whole of the Everton fan base even more. And yeah, I think he just needs to be going back to Corrie or something, whatever he was doing. Bill Kenwright. But yeah.
I know. Oh, ha, Chris. Ha, yeah.
But yeah, so we got a Liverpool game. Carl, what score prediction are you going with that one, mate?
Cricket score. It's going to be 4-0 to Liverpool.
I'm open for 4-0. But yeah, I go with Carl. 4-0 for the Reds.
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow's Premier League games, Bournemouth at home to West Ham.
Oh, I'm going to back Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, because they're a weird team, Bournemouth, aren't they, mate? And chat. They beat Liverpool. Yeah. They beat Liverpool. They beat, obviously, they went to the Emirates and were winning 2-0 and then bottled the lead as well. But yeah, who did they beat again? Bournemouth. It was a couple of weeks ago. They beat someone big. Spurs. Well, that's easy for everyone, isn't it? Supposedly. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to go. Sorry, lads, down there, but I've got a sneaky feeling Bournemouth might do something. So I'm going to go 1-0 Bournemouth.
Yeah, I might go for 2-0 Bournemouth, actually. Chris is going for 5-1 for Liverpool. He's going for 2-1 for Bournemouth to win, as well. And also the last game of the weekend, Newcastle at home to Spurs.
Oh, the English El Clasico, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm going, Can? You all know.
Same here.
I'm hoping for the Spurs win, because if Spurs do the business, as we know, Spurs are serial bottlers. If Spurs beat Newcastle, Liverpool will only be 6 points behind Spurs, and we've got Spurs to come to Anfield in a couple of weeks. So, but I'm gonna go Spurs. Don't know why I'm backing Spurs on a prediction.
I know. I'm like, yeah.
My heart's going with a Tottenham win, but my head goes 2-0 Newcastle. No, I'm going to be sensible. I'm going to go 2-0 Newcastle. It's got to be a Newcastle win.
Listen, I love you, Jack. I love all the rest of the Liverpool fans that I have enjoyed working with and all that stuff these past few years. But
there we go.
I am going for Newcastle. I think Newcastle would just continue with this one thing after the bit of a disaster performance against Villa last weekend. I think Newcastle will do it, but I think it will be 2-1 to Newcastle.
What would a loss do, Carl and chat, if Newcastle were to lose in terms of Sunday? Like psychologically, we spoke about Arsenal today in terms of the last 3 draws. Do you think doubt would creep in if Tottenham did turn up and beat them at St. James's?
That could, it could. It could be that. It could be that. I would agree with that. And, there's only 3 points difference. The thing is, Spurs were able to go above Newcastle because Newcastle got a very good goal difference. So that's another question I'm just seeing on here as well. Because Newcastle have got like 14 goals ahead of them. So, 12 goals ahead of them. So it's a question of that collapse could happen. But if the only team that's been on good form over the Man City, it's been Villa with the 5 wins on the trot, and Liverpool are now trying to come into form. But it's a huge question. I don't know. I think Newcastle could just get psychology can have the difference.
Yeah, definitely, miss. Oh, just on my chat there, massive thank you, Panov. I don't think it comes up on obviously when we're dual streaming anyway, but massive thank you for that, Panov. Really do appreciate your support, mate, and every single one is. But chat, make sure you do head over to Carl's channel anyway. I'll post a link in the description. Let's get Carl to at least 100 subs. Should have a lot more anyway, but
yeah,
please do head over. Carl, you do obviously the Saturday shows every single weekend, and he's got a lot of great content. So if there's one thing they can do for me, chat, today, head over to obviously Carl's channel, drop him a sub, and give him all the support you possibly can, mate. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I have been busy. I did have to do my Premier League review this week, and I'm going to be back again doing it next week. And I'm also going to do the FA Cup review as well. So I'll be doing some two new short contents coming up in the next couple of days, hopefully. And then, yeah, I will have to do my midweek predictions as well too. So I'm going to be very busy over the next coming days, as well as a match preview with Chris and hopefully with Craig from so oh god, I've got a lot of stuff. I gotta make sure my voice is ready. I've also got a job interview next week as well, so I'm gonna be so busy as hell, man. So
you'll smash that, mate, and I know you will. You very much will smash that.
Appreciate it.
But there's Carl's channel link in the description, everyone. So if you can drop a sub to Carl's channel and get involved with those content.
Appreciate that, Jack. Thank you very much for being a good guest co-host, and hopefully, I probably will be off next week because I am be away. I'm away for the weekend, so a lot of like Doug's being away. I'm also away as well, so I'm on a mini break. So yes, but Jack, thank you very much for joining us as usual, and hopefully we'll catch you again soon sometime.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Massive thank you very much for having me on. If you need me to host that show next week, I'd be more than happy anyway too.
Grand. Well, hopefully Douglas is back and he's on the team and he's on the league, so he can set up. I'll be away, but I'll try to keep in touch as well too.
Have a lovely weekend anyway.
Yeah, I will do. Chris, thank you very much. I hope I will smash it. So I will do. Thank you very much. And Nigel, appreciate it as well too. Honors up Reds. You never walk alone. So thank you. It's this end of the show as well, guys. So if you do miss this content, this will be on after the live. You can watch it again. If you are on the go with the podcast, you can listen to us on the podcast through Spotify, both audio and video, both through Apple, Google, and other podcast platform services as well. But I am going to be back next week as usual. Back do some stuff during the midweek. So I hope to see you again. But yes, thank you, Nigel. Thank you thank you. I appreciate the great job as well. And yes, I know Spider Pochettino comes to Chelsea. I know, and up the arse. So thank you for the I will try to do well with the interview next week. I'll let you guys know how it goes when I'm back. So after I'm back the week after, so I'll let you guys know. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and we'll see you guys. So have a good weekend. Thank you for watching, and keep subscribing as well. And subscribe to Jack's channel. So I will put his link in there as well too. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Take it for now. Bye-bye.